Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in Waffle County playing some City Skylines. And today, I'm thinking I want to just start a little road layout down here in what could be the downtown. Typically when I start an episode, I'll put a timer on so that I don't go over time too far. But you know what? Today, I'm off of work and I am needing to record the next episode so that I have something for you guys, because this coming weekend I'm going to be really busy. So essentially, I am building this immediately after recording the last part, episode 17. So I have not actually seen any of your comments yet. So what we're going to do today is just kind of build and have a good time. And then hopefully I can apply all of your guys' amazing feedback in the next week's episode. So what I want to start off with, I know that I want to kind of lower some of this land. We do occasionally get tsunamis over here, so we'll have to think about some kind of protection for this area. We're going to let it play while we do this, because if we get a disaster, that's totally fine. But I just kind of want to start messing around. This is the first attempt at this, so I haven't actually figured out exactly what I want to place down here yet, but we're gonna do it together. If you guys end up deciding that we should change all this up, we can totally do that. I think I want to have a pretty significant cliff front here, pretty high up above the water. I'm imagining that the port will probably be down in this area somewhere, or maybe, I don't know, somewhere over here. I do partially kind of think I want to reserve this beach for some kind of tourist something or other. But also, as we keep expanding, Port Sorrento is going to start seeing some changes in the next few parts here. I don't know exactly when, but I want to take Port Sorrento and expand it into our tourist, kind of trap area. But let's mess around with this. If I come in here and say we go like this, and we just add in our key, and I want to make sure this whole key is all at the same height. And then I want to raise this. Oh, it's going to get a little funky, but I want to raise it so that we are in line with the land behind us. So if I keep bringing this up to here, how does that look if we lower our brush size down and just try to start evening some of this out? Oh, that actually looks pretty good. Okay, great. So we're going to go ahead, fill all this in, and just kind of start off with this little key moment. Now, it isn't perfectly aligned, which kind of makes me think I want to actually raise it up a little bit more. What is happening there? Why is it so intense? Hold on. It's a little messed up, but really, I don't think it's too bad. But yeah, so here we go. This is good. So we're going to end it here. I mean, I'm not going to go much further than that, but here's our key. It's pretty tall. The water's pretty low, but I am intending for this to be a little bit higher up, because if we do get tsunamis or other disasters that cause any kind of waves, hopefully the height of this is able to protect us from some of that. Now, does this key have like a fence on it? It doesn't look like it. So you can just walk down and then get in the water? That's not going to work. Is there one that has a fence? I guess these have fences. Tiered seawall top. Tiered seawall both. Tiered seawall with stairs. Tiered seawall with stairs both. Okay, let's do this one. What does this look like? Invalid shape. How are you an invalid shape? You're a key. I built you myself. I can't just upgrade this? Oh, no. That's not gonna work. Okay, let's undo the key. It's a nice first try, but we're gonna come back. I think we're gonna use this one. Or maybe we just use the simple city key. Maybe we just use this. Okay, let's try this instead. This is good because it actually has some kind of barrier, because I think it looks a little strange without a barrier. Let's lower this brush down, the strength down really low. And let's just get all of this dirt underneath the key wall. It does look a little high. However, I think that's what we want. We are playing with disasters on, and because of that, I don't want to end up building things too close to the water, what's that called? Sea level. Because if I do, it's just going to set us up for horrible, horrible times when we do get our next tsunami. Today is probably going to be a lot of road building, a lot of just placing down of different networks. I think I want to rework this train a little bit, but let's go ahead and I think figure out what our highway is going to do, because that's going to be probably one of the most important decisions we make right now. If we were to raise this space already occupied, let's pause this. Let's get rid of this and go ahead and build from here. I want this to be high enough up. So like 26 seems pretty good. Oh, wait, turn all these back on. Okay. 26. No, 36 actually seems better. Yeah, that's not bad. So we're gonna do 36 here. We're gonna send it over the water. Now it does look like it's getting a bit higher, but that's okay because we do want to be able to get underneath of it. And I'm tempted to just kind of send this for now. If we turned on our, yeah, all this is really flat. Okay, I know we're paused again, and we're going to be jumping all around today, and that's okay with me. But let's remove this train line. I might even think about leaving this disconnected just for a little bit here. I really don't like that curve. But I'm tempted to have the train line come maybe more through the city. I think for this area, I would prefer for this to turn these guys back on. I would like for this to kind of follow with our mountain here. So if we brought this kind of to this area, maybe we do some kind of curve around the bend. Like so. And then I think for here, we're going to want to have this come in at some point. So I think this is going to come from here. What does it look like if we just went straight along? Not bad at all. That's not bad at all. I do know with the train infrastructure, if we don't kind of build this in advance, we're going to really like shoot ourselves in the foot. So I would like to put some kind of large train related stop here in the center of the city. And I love this glass transport hub. What else is on here? Glass box transport hub. This station is a multi-platform metro and train hub housed inside a big glass box. Okay, I like that. This one is a sunken dual island platform metro. These are all metro. This guy is like the normal ground bypass, ground station, elevated train platform, and then this is a elevated bypass. Is this the main elevated island platform train station? You know what? I'm fine with using this guy. I think this one looks nice. We also have this, the old market station. Now this is a, you can go through it, which might make more sense if we're trying to curve our train line maybe down this direction and go over here instead of where it is now. So I'm thinking this would come down closer down this edge along the front of the mountain, maybe cut through with a tunnel and then come back up and connect. So why don't we, you know what, let me rework this entire train line real fast and then we'll come back. Okay, so what I've ended up doing, it's a little bit more curvaceous, I guess, but it's better aligned with the topography we're dealing with. Now, areas like this, you know, this train line's not perfect, right? I mean, that hill is entirely too steep. So I guess we could go ahead and start fixing some of this. However, I'm not, honestly, like with this area, super concerned, only because we're not going to be over here for ages. But let's go ahead and select that. And if we were to bring it all the way down to here, and what happens if we just went for it? Okay, 3.8, not bad. Maybe what we can then go in and do is let's like really increase this brush size and just start to level some of this out. Much better. It's not that steep. It's less than 4%. It's going to come down. It does butt into this tunnel. Goes underneath the mountain and comes out on the other side, which I like a lot. And then here, it just kind of stays level almost the whole time, or pretty level, and just follows the movement of the land. Now I am going to go ahead and just connect these two together like we would normally, and then you know what? That's not too bad. We'll keep that. This will come along straight, curve. This area here absolutely needs some work. This cannot happen. So let's go ahead and take this maybe from here to here. Great. As long as it's a decent percentage. I mean, I really think for me, like, as long as it's less than 6%, I'm happy. I don't know if that's a real number, but, you know, in terms of how this works in real life, but I don't really care. Remove anything in the way. Okay. This is a much better connection because this is going to set us up to have a train station kind of in the middle of the downtown area. Now, I know that this kind of flatter area, is this flat here? It's a bit hilly, but right here is pretty flat. This could be a great spot for a train station. If I grab the one we were liking, oh, yeah, that looks good. But I am realizing this is elevated. Why did I do this way if that's elevated? I mean, this is to the ground, but this is a terminus station. Maybe this gets built into our downtown a bit more. Ooh. You know, we're just trying to figure this out as we go. I knew I wanted to work on some of this today, but I didn't really have too much of a crazy plan. If we back up this curve, right, and we just send this out, say to here, can we get this to connect in a good way? I mean, that goes directly into there. It is connected, so they can make that curve or that turn. What would this do? If this just went straight, can we do it without a curve and just connect right in? No, that doesn't seem to work. That's better. And then this could feed into our future train station. Let's just throw a street down for now. It doesn't really matter which one it is. This is just so we can start measuring some things and figure out if this is gonna work. Yeah, I think this is gonna work great. Okay, hold on. Let's place a different one, maybe more like this. If we place the street that way, and we place this here, that's pretty good, and it has this just like beautiful view of the water, the main train station of the city. All right. I like where this is already going, and we have barely done anything. Let's use move it. Just everything. I wish there was an easier way, and maybe there is, but how do I turn back on like all the things I previously turned off? Oh, you know what's not good about this is if you're coming from outside the city, you can't get into this train station from there. Okay, so hold on. That makes me think that I want to back this up further. And what would happen if we just sent this kind of straight on out to here? How bad does that mess up the land? Not terribly. But then up this way, we could do kind of two things here. We can have one connection here and another connection going this way. That gives us a better connection here. Then if we send forward, so I'm thinking for now, we definitely want to like make sure we're using this space for trains and reserving it. Do I want all of these lines? I think eventually we're going to want a line that maybe cuts quicker over this direction. So we're going to want to leave maybe this guy. I would want to come off from this area. So if we brought this over to here and then kind of sent it straight on out, you know, we finally have like a decent amount of money. So let's use it, you know? I think then we will connect. If we turn off anarchy, what does the connection here look like? It just seems so soon. I'd rather connect further back like that one. Part of me is thinking I want this line to connect a bit more centrally to this area so that one of these two can be dedicated to the external connection, which is gonna mean we kind of gotta move everything. If we take, let's do this. Let's sever these connections here. We don't need these yet. We also don't need these yet. We know that that is where our connection will go. But if we took all of this and just scooted it over to here, send this out straight as close as we can. This comes straight on in. Yeah. Yeah, much better. This is also going to come out, I don't mind 17 units. And then we'll turn on this curve again. Actually, we might be able to do this with a straight piece. No, it bows out too much. That's not what we want. Forward 9. Let's go forward 5 units and then start this curve, and we'll end up going for 8 and 8. Okay. So we've got some additional connections onto this road here, or this route here. And then for this side, this one is actually going to go straight as well. I'm tempted to like mirror this. Is that too much train? Like, what would be the purpose of mirroring that? And I'm realizing there's a much better connection here that doesn't include this mountain. But this could really go kind of straight on in and avoid this extra curve. What if we did that? What if we brought this pretty far back? Let's just go straight. Like, what happens if we kept it straight for as long as we could go? If this is at 80, yeah, it does reach to there. So let's go to this point here and then connect these two together. Why can't I seem to like find this connection? There we go. Okay. I like this. This one here is going to come out 20 units and then connect in as well. Maybe just before. So we've got some numerous different ways you can kind of wiggle around and move. This one, I want this to come out probably 30. And then we are going to do what we can to connect to here. Why don't we try using this tool here? What is the create a loop, create a curve? If I went from here to here, and then we selected the outermost edges of this, and then we can we like do anything to this curve? Not really, but we can just hit enter, which is fine. Okay, it's not terrible. It takes up a sizable amount of space, but in some respect, we want it to take up a sizable amount of space because it is a train and it needs to have ample room to move around. So this is all pretty flat. It does look like these two are going up before the others. I would like to select all of this and set it all to the same height so that it's, not acting totally crazy. And then what we will do, even though we've already gone through and kind of smoothed this, I mean, it's a little crazy how smooth it is. So we will give a little bit of texture to all of this. Some different grades. So now we've got a train station, a pretty beefy one, which is going to be the main connector to our downtown. So back over to this area. I think that for the most part, this highway can be straight. I mean, I don't need to see some crazy changes in the highway. It can stay straight all the way to here. Gorgeous. 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 Just like before, like all of this is probably going to change. I'm okay with that. It's very straight, but then again, it's a highway. It's meant to get people to and from places ideally as quickly as possible. So I'm okay with that. I think in this area, that's 55. It's a little bit too much. Maybe we bring this out an additional 30 on both sides. And then I say we turn this to match the angle of this road here, of this train line. Which I guess we're not actually doing a good job of. Let's instead do it the reverse. So let's build a highway that goes, let's come out. This is what, 20 units away from the train? Yeah, because that'll give us more than enough space to build different exits and add in the things that we need to make this work. So we'll send these together. Let's set all of these to the same height. Set all of these to, let's try this height instead. Yeah. It's not high enough for us to go underneath, but that's all right. It's not going to be the best curve. Back those up. And let's try to use this again. So let's do the curve tool from here to here. And then for some reason you have to also click those. I don't fully understand. Control space. No, I don't know. But we can click these two guys. Enter, enter. So that gives us the main highway that's going to end up connecting into this downtown area. And I think we're going to want to have some kind of interchange here that comes over this direction. Now, we're not going to build, I think, all of this right now. But if we follow this guy, let's come out. Should we do the 20 or is that too far out? It's not too bad. Okay. All of these to the same height. Let's use the first one we did. It's not high enough though. Really, the land changes height, and that is something we've got it because I definitely want to be able to get underneath of this. So if anarchy's off, can this road reasonably go underneath here? No. If we kept this where it was before, it still cannot go underneath. Set these to the height of the neighboring point, and then can this go underneath? Have I brought this through? Yes. So that can go underneath pretty easily. We do end up getting a little bit of clipping with the street lights. I don't know if that truly bothers me, and if it does, later on we can adjust. This whole thing should just be a bit closer. Yeah, I want it closer because I want more space over here. And I said we weren't going to do this now, but I think we are. So this is going to come straight along to probably here. At which point we're going to curve, I think, to right here. And now let's go back to this. I'm trying to use the network multi-tool more because it is just going to make my life a whole heck of a lot easier. And I would like to move this over a little bit. So press minus or equals to change offset. Shift is times 10. Control is times 0.1. All right, let's do 0.1 and do equals. And get this. Oh, this is great. Get this to line up right about there. And now there's also a tool in here that joins union nodes. And so now it's become one node. That's amazing. Now, how is this looking in terms of height? Great. And over here, also great. And so now I guess we want to figure out how we're going to connect these two together. Before we do that, let's just make sure that we have these kind of facing the right way. So this one needs to be going to the right. This one's going to the left, at least in this kind of orientation we have this set up. So this one's going to go this way. This one's going to go this way. Beautiful. And then for this one, you're going to turn off. If I look at this, the left side is going north. No, the left side's going south. The right side's going north. If I look at this, the left side's going south. The right side's going north. Correct. Beautiful. Flip these guys around. Great. So now we have some like future infrastructure coming in. I'm loving it. We've really spent a ton of money, but I anticipated that would happen. It's just a part of how this works. So let's try to build out some type of interchange. This we're going to jump into a quick time lapse because this is going to be a lot of trial and error. All right, here's what we've got. We've got basically just like a, not a trumpet, what is this, like a T junction? So we've got our highway, future highway that will expand over to this direction. It's going to be a much quicker connection, I think, over to Port Sirepo. This is probably going to come through at some point, connect up to this highway here, and there will be more development here in the far future. We are nowhere close. This guy is going north to south. I do need to still fix a few like dipping issues, so I'll work on that in a second. And then we have this particular one, it sends 2 lanes this direction, 2 lanes forward, and one of them becomes an exit only. I don't know why I did that. I just felt like I wanted to. So there might be something here that requires an exit only. Really quickly, we're going to just take, oh no, not that. We want this guy, we want to use this, and we're going to come from here, I think down to here, and just kind of smooth that out, along with this side too. So just kind of get those guys all together. And then for this as well, we're going to smooth this one more time and smooth this one more time, just so that things look a bit nicer. And then we might as well do the same here. So let's just grab these guys and smooth all those. Oh wow, it's smooth to 0. Very nice. Okay, so now we've got major connections all throughout. I don't know what's happening right there, so we'll wiggle that to fix it. Here, we'll wiggle that to fix it. Did that happen for my other ones that I just messed around with? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So now we've got some great connection, which is wonderful. However, we don't actually have any exits yet. So what I need to do now, let's try to map out a little bit of a road network here that we can then use for the rest of our build. Now we do have this avenue that is coming on down. I have a feeling this avenue is going to cross over this train, come on in and through, and maybe come underneath along this side. So let's make that a reality. If we were to, you know what? Back to using this incredible multi-tool. Let's go from here to here. Nope, I want parallel. From here to here. Let's increase it with the plus. Yes, yes, yes. So send that 50 units out. Place that there. Let's make sure, you know what? I know why that did that. That was the wrong type. Beautiful. It is creating, you know, a pretty significant cliff there, which isn't ideal. And I think what I would rather have happen here is I would rather this be raised up enough that we can start bridging kind of over this direction, which I think we can absolutely do. If we were to take this, turn anarchy off, send it straight on over. Yeah, that works great. And we have enough space underneath, just barely, but we do, which is awesome. So that will come on out. This particular route is going to, I think, go straight a little bit further to here. And then at this point, we are going to curve up and out, throwing anarchy on. I want to try to align with some point here. Oh, road guidelines is off. I was like, why am I not seeing any of my things? Now, this is going to require a bit of work because these are going to need to be low enough that they absolutely are underneath, which is to about there. And then at this point, I think I want this to be at the same height as this rail line, this avenue. So for here to here, we'll go ahead and smooth that out. And then I think from here up until about here, again, we'll smooth that out as well. Maybe even a bit further along. So it's a really, really steady incline that we see on that particular part of the road. Let's smooth out some of this and even smooth out a bit. We might even add a key wall here just to kind of separate those two. But now we're going to take this avenue. It gives us something unique. It's a strange kind of connection, but now we have an avenue that goes the length of our city. I mean, it actually comes, this avenue is pretty much the same avenue as this avenue. So it's kind of becoming in its own way a weird little ring around everything, which is fine with me. Tempted to just randomly send... No. Yeah, no. What if we were to take this? I don't mean to like get stuck on this highway, but I'm feeling what's happening. What if we took this and sent this down? Send it to the ground and just connect it in somewhere. Just like that. And these two here can become ground, aligned to the ground, which is great. And I think all around that's not bad. This particular exit is giving me vibes of a particular exit off 95 here in Philly. So here's Philadelphia, is where I live. And over here, this is 95. This particular like line, you can see this tan line cutting through everything. Down in this part of the city is where there's tons of like the box stores. You have your Home Depot, your Walmart, your Lowe's, all of that. And there's this one exit here. There's no other exits around it, and it just comes off the highway and dumps people out onto this avenue. That is what this exit is kind of giving me, in that it is, I mean, it's a little ridiculous looking. It probably could have just come down a different way, but it comes down and just feeds out onto the avenue to get people moving. It's wild that it's so high, but in a way, I like that it's so strange. So now I want to think about how all this is going to work for the downtown. So we've got this kind of avenue coming along this way. It's gonna have connections that go in. So let's grab this road and let's send it down. Like what, this was how many units? This was, I think 10 units. Yeah, this came out 10 units. If we went 10 units and then 10 units down, what is the slope of this? I am curious. From here to here is 16. That is entirely too much. So if we brought this 20 units out, and then we sloped this, gives us 9. It's not ideal, but it's also not atrocious. This is actually slowly becoming a sunken highway, which is not what I meant to do, but I really don't mind it. Let's come out 20 units, which would be right here. Let's stay elevated for this point, and let's go, I guess 36, 33. And then we'll come out 20 units to the ground level. So let's go straight on down. We're going to have to use our network multi-tool to get that guy going. So we've got two kind of roads feeding into here. And this is starting to, in its own way, form a grid. Now, these don't perfectly connect, which is not a huge problem. But I would like to have these two connect together. And because we're in the downtown area, there is going to be a grid structure. We've got 20. What would a 20 by 20 look like? It's probably quite large. But we could do a 20 by 20, and then we could use these one-lane roads I have to kind of break them up. Now, these are one-lane one-ways, a one-lane one-way road with parking. I'm tempted to use these almost like tiny avenues that are cutting through parts of the city. All right, so that's connecting in there. That looks pretty good. It does mean that we have this back area that we can also work in, but before we do that, I think I want to smooth out all of this so that everything here is kind of connecting. If we grab these 2 points and give ourselves a little lip here to work from, then we can go ahead and really get this area smoothed. Yeah, I mean, we've basically made a sunken train line by accident. I didn't intend to make a sunken train line, but we did. This is 20 units. This could also be another road. I think it's going to be, because then we have an additional spot for another one-way avenue, or another one-way alleyway. And it kind of makes me want to rework this front section. And instead of having it be a one-way, because now we have a one-way for both sides. So we do have two of them, which means we are kind of equaling out there. This section needs to be reworked, because I almost want to kind of go along this edge. Can this go straight? There's no way. It actually can. A little close to the water, which causes some issues for our trees. I think I have a mod that can turn that off. But what if we just brought it to here for now? giving us pretty decent connectivity throughout. And I think for here, just like we had already kind of going on, we're going to connect all of this into this kind of grid setup we have. Now it's a little boring, but again, this is a downtown area, so we kind of want it to be a bit boring. And actually, this is going to come out to here. This is going to come over to here. And this is going to be an avenue as well. Now, these points all need to be at the height of this point here, which actually all need to be at the height of this point here. And then this particular section should become a bridge. Okay, so look at this. I thought we were going to have a flat downtown area, and we're actually going to have some exciting changes to our network. Okay, so we've got that going on. It's not anything crazy just yet, but it is becoming something that I'm excited about. I think I want to have one more bridge. I don't know why it keeps like changing the camera angle so quickly. But I think I want to have one more bridge instead of 20 units out, which would be that's 28. This would be 28 units out. Where's 30? Here's the 30 mark. Like right about here. If we did one more over here, 36 is high enough to get over there. I think this one is not going to connect to that other section. Sorry, not going to connect to this. Is it going to share this? I don't know. Okay, and then let's go ahead and just finesse the ground just like we've been doing. Get this nice and elevated where it needs to go. And that kind of lets us have a little area back here that we can fill in later on. And I'm tempted, would it be strange to have the one-ways connect? That would be strange. Yeah, no, I'm already convincing myself against it. But let's send this out 20 like we were already. And then this could just cut to here. You know what? We are going to have this be the same height as all of these. I think it just looks nice. Go ahead and fill this in. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, what we also will need to think about is this elevated rail line. And we're not really going to build too much of this today. But I typically put our rail lines below the ground. And I'm tempted to instead place one that's above ground. If we turn off Anarchy, this literally goes over the road. Oh, that is so cool. I did not know that that goes over the road. We don't actually have any of this infrastructure built out yet. But we're going to do it for fun. And what is this building? Urban Subway. Oh, yes. This is awesome. This will be above ground. It's gonna cut through all of this. It makes this particular road not that useful. However, I think that's all right. And it's a subway. The game let me do this particular curve, so we're going to take it. And then we'll have another set that goes over this way. Maybe it changes direction, who knows. But I think that that's pretty good. This can serve, I mean, this is technically one block since we're doing 20 squares. So this would be 1, 2, yeah, it's serving 2 blocks. That's nothing too crazy. And we could even think about sending another one this way that maybe goes out in this direction somehow. Let's check the inclines that we have here. Yeah, there could absolutely be development up here because if this is our downtown area, we're going to want to have some pretty substantial infrastructure built out this way. We'll figure out exactly what it does soon, but like all this will absolutely need some kind of connection. So we have these two joining here to connect up. Beginnings of some kind of metro network. All right, I think the last thing we need to do, and this episode's going to be a bit long, but we definitely need some kind of connection to this area. And I'm thinking that I want to have a clear connection here. Beautiful. That works for me. Let's also, like we've been doing, just smooth out the surrounding area. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. And I imagine this highway is going to keep going. So let's just keep it doing what it was doing. We want it to be elevated. This is going to go to here. It's getting higher and higher as we go. I'm okay with that. I mean, it's pretty high up, but at the same time, that's not bad. If these came down to match that one, that's decent. Now let's use our sloping tool from here to here. And from here to here. Just kind of even all that out a bit. It still gives us ample room to get underneath with some additional roads on the other side. Oh my God. I keep wanting to stop, but this is really shaping up nicely. All right, set this to 0. That's 20 units, which sends us right to the opposing side of the highway. Maybe this is where we might need to rework this, but we can rework this so that that's where it starts to go underground. I think this is absolutely connecting to there. And again, we're going to use this one-way system we have. This one will come this way. Yeah. Because I envision that this area is going to be some like lower, let's see, here's what I think. I'm just not even worrying about the time anymore, y'all. We're just going to do what we got to do. I'm thinking a lot of this area is going to be these types of like brownstone, 2-story houses. I mean, you see these in New York, you see them a lot in Philly, but this is the kind of style that I want for here. And if we just mess around for a moment, if we had these on both sides, we would still have a 2 space here in the middle that we could then fill with backyards and just make something amazing. So delete these for now. And let's just figure out what our highway entrance and exit look like that connect to this particular section of road. If we keep it elevated, if we curve it to here, right? So like say we came from one of these points to here, we came to this point, we're still at 49 height, which is more than enough to cross over. 36 is the minimum we need to cross over here. So if we crossed over this road and then brought it down, it's making me question some of these roads. At the same time, there's not gonna be any buildings under here, right? So I think we cut that road here, we cut this road here, we treat this avenue like an avenue, and we align these roads. Here's what we do. Here's what we do. That's a height of 59. So can we get up to 59 pretty easily? Yeah. And then if we were to connect to here, what we can do and what we're going to pretend that has happened is there was a road here at one point, but when they built the highway, they knocked down this road that was previously here so that they could fit these exit ramps. We could assume that there was roads here and here because we have Anchor Street and Beach Street, and they are no longer, in that space. Similarly, I think we go ahead and I want this to be curved. I do. And I like that this is here. But I think we curve this out even further. So this needs to come like out this far. This will give us the ability to have an this is going to, let's just make sure this all makes sense. This needs to be an exit ramp. And this needs to be an exit ramp. So we're exiting there. We need on-ramps for both of these. And I'm thinking that we could mirror this, right? So we could have another set of on-ramps right next to it, which I'm fine with. Now we've got one connection into this area, as well as this random connection, which makes me wonder if we should do an additional connection. I want another one, I think maybe over here. So we have this one. We've got a road going the wrong direction here. What's going the wrong way? Hold on. Somehow, all of this has changed. That's not right. This needs to be going this way, which then means that these need to change. That's the exit, and this is the on. That makes way more sense. There we go. Man, I'm sure you guys are screaming at me for that one. All right, and then I think we need an additional set of connections here. I think what we do is we've got this double set here that's going forward. I would like to have one more block, I think. Definitely come out and connect up to everything. Let's just get this to ground level. This road, keep it on the ground, is gonna come straight. And instead of building this road, this is where we're gonna have our on-off ramps. So we're gonna have a ramp. I don't really think I mind if this came down, because this would be going this way. So you get here, you can go this direction, or you can use this as an exit. That might actually help with traffic so that you don't use the alley to kind of go where you need to be. But that also gives me enough headroom here to add a second highway exit right here. I think I want all this to be elevated, even to the point where it's connecting. All right, so we've got another set of on and off ramps there, and then we're going to want to have an additional set of these on the opposing side. Okay, so there's the exit going into this road, which connects directly over to this avenue, and if you continued straight, would go to this avenue, which makes me think that this needs to be a tiny 4-lane avenue that cuts through. This is amazing. I'm feeling like it's coming together. This is a 3-way, but let's just do this 4-way no parking. I'm fine with that. Keep this to the ground, keep this to the ground, 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 and then we'll raise this one up. So it just gives a little extra mobility for this particular road because of the connections it has to make. And then we need to match this exit. And then this also gives us the power to change this over to a 2-lane and this over to a 2-lane. And that allows us to have 2 exits here that don't cross over each other in this part, which I think is great. So we can really keep that traffic moving. Hopefully we like the grid. We'll see what y'all think, but I think this here is pretty much the end of that. That's what we're going to do. That's it. All right, so this is it. This is what we've done all episode. It's been lots of roads, lots of keys, lots of train lines. We got some metro infrastructure that doesn't actually do anything yet, but eventually will. And I think this is looking good. Tell me in the comments. My biggest questions are, what do we think of this train setup? It's very centrally located. It's going to give us great connections to the train we already have. Do I have enough lanes? Should I add another train line going, I guess we'll call it north to this area, because that we end at North Park. What do we think of this grid? I like the idea of having some one-ways. I think they look nice. What I'm going to do in between parts, I'm just going to go ahead and place down what I think a block or 2 would look like. That way, when we start up the next part and I have your guys' feedback, we can kind of see how that's going to play into all of this. But I'm thinking this is looking pretty good to start. We might want to do a little bit more with it later on, but this is what we've got. I'm pretty pumped about it. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry this episode is way longer than normal, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one.